Be a little history on this one. I'll talk about the car and how it came to look like this and what's been going on with it. So obviously it's a Charger RT with the 440, and obviously it's had a better life at one time. So here's what happened to this one. It was in a highway patrol freeway high-speed chase more than 25 years ago, and the CHP 25 years ago or more still had cars that were relatively powerful, and so they're able to do the pit maneuver on this car and turn it and get it stopped and arrested the guy behind the wheel. I don't remember now what the situation was, if it was armed robbery or what it was, but anyway, CHP takes the car and impounds the car, and it becomes part of the investigation. Years later, which can be something to consider and may happen in different investigation cases, the car was released by the CHP, and it was in a tow yard sitting outside, and the tow yard sent it to the junkyard as scrap. So now the junkyard has it, and somebody sees it. A friend of the owner of the yard says, "I want to buy the car, I want it, I'll take it," and buys the car. Now when the cars come into a junkyard, they're required to turn in the titles as junk and report them as such on their inventory. So there the car sits, and the guy that bought it decided he was going to pay the yard to store it there until he got time to restore the car. Well, it sat in the yard for about 10 years. Nobody was able to buy it. It was never for sale. And one day I got a call from the yard owner and the guy that actually owned the car. Said, "You know, might as well sell it." So we bought the car, and it became a project that sat here for too long, until I finally said, "You know, let's find out what we can do with that so that we can get it over to the guy that actually stepped up and paid to get our hands on the car." So the car had been sitting so long that the engine was seized. We took the engine apart, and at some point in time, when it was either at the storage yard or the junkyard or who knows where in between, somebody had tried to start it up, and the valves were stuck, and it bent the valves and messed up a bunch of stuff inside the engine. Well, that meant let's do what we can to get it running so that it can run and drive enough to get it over to the guy that is planning on restoring the car. So that's where it is right now. Needs a total restoration, but it is going to drive up onto the trailer and head out to where it's going to be restored. This is the sad thing about these guys that get their hands on these cars, because they are going to restore them someday. And the car just goes away and gets a lot worse because it's been sitting outside way too long. So there you go. At least now we know that it's going to be done and returned to what it should be sometime in the near future. Odometer, yeah, it's 90,000, so it had been around a little bit. There you go. Thanks for watching.